Hello, hello. Hopefully we'll be popping up live in the Yoga Teacher Collaborative in any moment for today's weekly live show. So do just let me know while I click around and see if we are here and live. I think we are. There we go. Just popped up on my screen. So I'm about 2 minutes early just to give you time to arrive for today's session on Polyvagal Theory, but specifically looking at something called co-regulation in yoga, and really just an explanation behind some of what's happening in the nervous system that is making yoga classes so amazing. So it's the stuff you and I know, but understanding a little bit of the science behind. So we'll begin properly in a couple of minutes. I do have a PowerPoint presentation that I want to go through with you today as we just really get into some of the techniques and theories of polyvagal theory so that you can leave today's session and put this straight into your teaching. So I just don't want anyone to miss the PowerPoint or miss the opening polyvagal theory inspired movement flow that we are going to do. So let me know if you're here. I can see that there's 4 of you watching already, so do just type away in the comments. Let me know that I'm not just chatting to myself as we wait to explore co-regulation, polyvagal theory, a little bit about the nervous system and some techniques that you can put into your yoga classes immediately from next week. Jenny, welcome. Jenny, is that how I say that spelled with a G? Let me know, honey. Jenny, I don't know. I'm awful at reading names and pronunciations and I don't know them. So please do let me know. Right, let me just go check everything's okay over on the Zoom. It is. So I think we shall dive on in. Zoe, hello, welcome. I'm pleased that you are here. So thank you for joining me for today's weekly live show right here inside the Yoga Teacher Collaborative. I know we've got lots of new members at the moment, which is amazing. I'm really excited for the 5-day free business and marketing course that we're doing at the beginning of September. So my name is Laura Green. I am a yoga teacher, a teacher trainer, and a business mentor for yoga teachers. That's just my doorbell. I'm hoping my husband will come through and answer it in a moment. But yes, so I have a clear mission, which is to help yoga teachers thrive through, yes, improving our knowledge of business and marketing, but also upskilling ourselves in our discipline of sharing yoga. You know, yoga is this ancient practice that is constantly evolving. There is always so much more to learn and be inspired by. So today we're looking specifically through the lens of polyvagal theory. Now this is a theory. Some of it is science, some of it is theory, but it is a theory. And I find it super powerful and it really helps me understand a lot about how yoga works and why it's so efficient. And then we're going to be specifically looking at co-regulation as well. So before we begin, I want us to do just a little bit of movement and a few really simple practices. You can do a seated in a chair like I am. And these practices that we're going to do help to calm and soothe the nervous system, bring us into what under the lens of polyvagal would be called ventral vagal or parasympathetic nervous system, where we can be present, socially engaged, and able to take in information and absorb new learnings. This works, what we're about to do, by stimulating different nerves that stimulate the parasympathetic response. The nerves we're going to be stimulating right now are the facial nerves, the oculomotor nerve, a little bit the glossopharyngeal nerve, and of course, the one everyone talks about, the vagus nerve. So wherever you are right now, please find yourself in a comfortable seated position and try to feel quite even and balanced. So I've just adjusted, so I've got both my feet flat down on the floor, my weight is even through both sitting bones, so come and join me like this. Okay, and then once you feel comfortable and settled, connect to your breath. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And then exhale through the mouth. Good. And then what you're familiar with, let's start to rub the hands together. And you know this, you must have done it a million times. building a little bit of heat energy in the hands. Getting connected with your breath as you do this, maybe a little more vigorously. And then cupping your hands. Don't watch me, you do it too. Cupping your hands over your eyes. As you allow the eyes to close, sense them rolling back and down in the socket. The eyes relaxing. Breathing mindfully here for a few moments. Now you know instinctively this is relaxing. But why? Our eyes are deeply connected to the nervous system, either looking out for signs of safety or danger. Right now, telling your eyes it's okay to relax. It's okay to draw in. I am safe. I am present. Relaxing the oculomotor nerve from the eye. Then sliding your fingers down so they're just above your brow points. And take two fingers, your index finger and your middle finger, and start to circle around your eye sockets. You want to open your eyes a moment to see, go ahead, then try and close them again. I'm coming right in through the nose, up and over, almost as if you were drawing a pair of glasses on your own face. So still, I'm relaxing the oculomotor nerve, the facial nerve. Once more around. And then letting those fingers come up onto the brow. And just pitter-patter your fingers like raindrops. And relaxing all of the muscles here. Letting the forehead soften. Stimulating the facial nerve, the oculomotor nerve coming down to the sides of your temples. Again, just circling here. Something we do so intuitively is directly working with the nerves of the parasympathetic nervous system to bring you into ventral vagal, parasympathetic, at rest. And sliding down to just this corner of your jaw here, is TMJ, this joint. And circling over this joint. Just let a little bit of space come between your back teeth. Releasing through the jaw. Then just sliding off here, you've got this corner bone. Just slide off so you're on your neck. And just pressing in and up. And you might notice you start to salivate a little. When we're stressed, when we're in the sympathetic nervous system, our saliva kind of starts to turn off as our digestion is inhibited. When we come back into the place of rest, the body is able to digest. Our saliva glands start to go again. We start to salivate, the body ready to digest. And sliding the hands around the base of the skull so that you are just massaging that base of the skull, brainstem area. These nerves of the parasympathetic nervous system, such as the vagus nerve, they come out of the brain stem here. Then interlacing your hands so you're cupping your head, drawing your head back and up and taking a little movement. Good. And then dropping your right hand down. Press your left arm up and over, gentle side stretch. And slide that hand over so you're touching your temple. Taking your head back the other way, ear down towards the shoulder. So when you're stretching through the side of your neck, you're also stimulating that vagus nerve. Just going to do a little bit more work here. So take the other arm, the right one, inhale, reach it up. Then imagine you're pulling down on a cord. So I'm grabbing something, pulling down, keep pulling down, deepening the stretch through the side of the neck. Inhale, extending up. Exhale, drawing down. Once more, inhale up. And exhale down. Releasing both hands, roll your chin down to your chest. And taking your head back and up. Interlace the hands around the base of the skull again, drawing your head back and up. And dropping that left hand down, right elbow presses up. Slide that right hand over, touch the side of your head. Bring your head back, up and over. Stretching through the side of the neck. And taking that left arm, reach it up, inhale. Exhale, really draw down as you take the head away. Good. Inhale, reach up and goes all through the side. Exhale down. Last time, inhale up. And exhale down. Then releasing that, the head come back up to center. Just take a moment to notice what, if any, effects of, yes, a very simple sequence, but put together specifically to stimulate the main nerves of the parasympathetic nervous system. So now that we are present, we're relaxed, we're able to take in and absorb information. I am now going to put on a screen share. Okie dokie. Let me just get that started. So I'm hoping you can all still see us okay, because I'm presenting to you through Zoom today. I can't always see what's going on in Facebook. Okay, so some of you will be much more familiar with polyvagal theory, and this might be new for some of you. And I've just done a whole day CPD on this. This is a very short snippet today, but I will do an online full CPD on this soon. But polyvagal theory, and I state again, it is a theory. It's a theory I find exceptionally useful and valuable, and has really explained to me why yoga can be so powerful. So if you don't know anything about polyvagal theory, you have a scientist, neuroscientist and American psychiatrist called Dr. Stephen Porges. Now, he is the originator of polyvagal theory. He first outlined this theory in 1994. It is an updated or alternative version, look at theory of what the autonomic nervous system is, how it operates, and how it helps us navigate our daily lives. But more than that, how it shapes our daily lives, which explains why two people can go into the same situation and have totally different experiences of that situation based on what is happening within their nervous system. Polyvagal theory brings automatic processes into our awareness so that we can become active operators of our autonomic nervous system. So let's just think, what does that mean? So what are automatic processes? So right now, as you know, we are breathing. Our heart is beating. We might be digesting. All sorts of things are going on automatically within us to stay alive. And that's great. Some of these processes can be brought into our conscious awareness so we can become active operators. As you know, the breath is going on without our active participation, but at any moment we can bring it under our present awareness, shift how we're breathing to shift how we're feeling. Same goes a stage removed, really, but for the beat of our heart. So our heart is beating automatically without us thinking about it. But maybe if we notice our heart is beating too fast, maybe we're feeling nervous, stressed, you've been for a run, if you adjust how you're breathing, you can slow your heart rate. So although these things are automatic, once within our awareness, we can actively participate to some level with what's going on. So the three key principles of polyvagal theory, and we're not here to look at them today, it's just a very brief overview. The three key principles is hierarchy, neuroception, and what we're going to be looking at today, co-regulation. Very briefly, all of this comes together with our autonomic nervous system working with a drive to survive. Every waking moment, your nervous system is doing the most phenomenal job to keep you alive and present. But in addition to that, our nervous systems have been built to have a longingness to connect. You think about the moment a newborn baby comes into the world, its eyes look for connection, look for feeding, look for safety. We are here as mammals with a longingness to connect. And briefly, that hierarchy. So it's a hierarchy of ways that our nervous system can respond. We have ventral vagal, sympathetic, and dorsal vagal. And we're not really looking at this today. I couldn't talk about polyvagal theory without mentioning this. So rather than just that simple overview of fight or flight, being sympathetic, and rest and digest being parasympathetic, polyvagal puts more nuances within that we're ventral vagal, sympathetic, or dorsal, and we can be a combination between the two. It's like a dimmer switch. We toggle between the three. Sorry. They're in a little more detail. Ventral vagal, I don't love seeing it as a ladder, but the ladder analogy is so commonly used for polyvagal. Ventral vagal is when we are present, at ease, socially engaged, this feeling of flow and being present and living in our life, joyful. Then we have sympathetic, which is this heightened state of awareness that can be brought on obviously by stress, by survival, by having to really concentrate on something. It is this heightened level of awareness, commonly, yes, referred to as fight or flight, sympathetic nervous system. And then there is the dorsal vagal response. And this is about shutdown. It is about numbing out, shutdown, complete exhaustion. It's when in the face of a threat, just pretend to not be there and await death. Whereas sympathetic would be that fight. Dorsal is this numbing out, this disassociation, this can't engage. And what we are here to talk about today is co-regulation. So all mammals, and yes, we're a mammal, have evolved to thrive in community. Now, however much I think I'm naturally introverted, I like a lot of time on my own, we have survived to thrive in community, to live in communities. And think about yoga. We always have this choice to do yoga on our own. And, with online yoga, that's become a lot more of the thing. But actually, we always feel like yoga's done in community. We come together. Our nervous systems read, respond, and react to each other. This is co-regulation. So when you can come into being with another human, your nervous system is sending out messages, their nervous system is sending out messages, we're interpreting one another, always looking for these symptoms of safety or danger, friend or foe. Co-regulation is the foundation of our autonomic nervous system. We feel other people's feelings. You hear a lot of people talk about being empaths. We are all empaths. It is our nervous systems communicating. Some people are much more aware, present of that process, but we are all empaths. It's hardwired into us, into co-regulation, into our nervous systems, reading, responding, and reacting to others. Co-regulation can be positive. So we can use our balanced ventral vagal, present, socially engaged to uplift other people. Or it can be negative. If we go into a situation in that fight or flight response, that can rub off on other people and make them feel that agitated unease. Co-regulation is always happening. So it can therefore be done unconsciously. It's just always happening. Or we can consciously engage with co-regulation. I'm going in to teach a yoga class right now. I wish to be ventral vagal. I wish to be present, relaxed, able to notice what's happening, absorb information. I'm going to bring myself and my nervous system into this place first. We're doing a routine, maybe like what we just did, the breathing, regulating my nervous system. So then when I go into a community with others, I am bringing that energy with me. So it can be done consciously. Conscious co-regulation requires, first of all, you have an awareness of what is happening within your nervous system. You have a presence and you have an understanding of how to regulate your nervous system. Co-regulation is happening one-on-one. If you're with your loved ones, you're with your pets, you're with a friend, you're teaching one-on-one, you're with colleagues. The co-regulation is always also happening in a group. And of course, without communication, just simply bringing a class of students together, those energies are co-regulating, creating something in that space. As I said, it can be done with animals as well, which is one of my favorite ways. So positive co-regulation. Here's some of these pictures here. That first one, you're consciously breathing, myself, regulating, in the presence of pet, You know, if you notice that your pets want to come with you when you're doing yoga at home, they want to be around you when you are bringing yourself into this relaxed state. Cats, not just cats, pets, choose to come with you into that environment. The number of my students that do online yoga with me, and they say that as soon as they turn the class on and their cats hear my voice, the cats come into the room because cats are co-regulating with their owner in that moment of yoga. Co-regulating just by chatting with friends. If this is, you know, chatting with students, encouraging students to chat to one another before a yoga class, making space for tea occasionally after a class, you know, my chair yoga class, you know, every now and again, once a month, we go for tea. And also just in this group yoga environment where we might be chanting Om together, we're meditating together, we're breathing together, we're moving together. This is positive co-regulation. So what else is co-regulation consciously in a yoga class? Simple things that you do just because it's what we do. But when we think through the lens of polyvagal theory, we know actually this is doing something with the nervous system. And when someone comes to your class, our nervous systems are always looking for signs of safety, danger, friend, or foe. So when a student comes to class and you make an effort to greet every student by name, just hearing your name said in a calm, relaxed voice is saying, I'm welcome here, I'm known here, this is a safe space. Now, it's not always possible to greet every student by name, but at least eye contact and a smile. That is this social level eye contact with a smile, telling that nervous system, I've seen you, you're safe, you're present, you're welcome here. Yes, it just seems like good customer service, but more than that, it's the yoga working from that moment to co-regulate with that being. We don't know what their day has been like, what they've had, if they've even seen a smiling face or someone's made eye contact with them. Occasional eye contact during a yoga class and a smile. Eye contact is so powerful. Our nervous systems are hardwired to co-regulate, to exist in community. Simple eye contact. I'm part of a community, and the smile. Occasional verbal feedback in class. Lovely breathing, Jane. Just hearing your name, hearing that feedback. I'm safe, I'm seen, I'm present, I'm held in community. Now, looking at Shavasana. Now, Shavasana, the eyes are closed. To some degree, it's almost that dorsal vagal, that kind of shut down, rest, deep rest. So when someone comes out of Shavasana, when your class come back up to seated, it's taking that moment consciously to look every student in the eye with a smile, is bringing the energy back up from Shavasana, bringing them back up to ventral vagal. So taking that moment to look every student in the eye. And this is why I think, you know, yoga is an individual journey, but when we take it within a group, we know something else happens. Something else happens, and it's this stuff, it's co-regulation. A group Om, so chanting. Chanting stimulates the vagus nerve. If you don't want to chant, a sigh. So closing your class with something like inhaling through the nose and a soft sigh. That audible sigh stimulating glossopharyngeal, stimulating vagus nerve. Or if you can bring that up to the level of an Om, when we chant Om, if you don't know about the vagus nerve is the longest nerve in the body. It comes from the brainstem, little up through the neck and the throat, into my lungs, into my heart, into my digestive area. When we chant Om well with the Om, all those sounds in it. The vibration is following the vagus nerve. Try it with me now. That R sound. You feel the vibration much lower, kind of belly, chest, in the bottom part of the vagus nerve. Let's do that. Then when we come into the O of Om, that's more chest, neck, throat, where the vagus nerve is here. Let's do that. Inhale. And when we come to that closed mouth sound of in Om, vibrating through my throat, vibrating through my facial nerves, all in my face. Let's do that. Inhale. And lastly, that nasal sound of Om, the NG, when your tongue is going to the roof of the mouth, we're sending the vibration really up through the brow, through the eyes, through the oculomotor nerves affected. Let's try that. So when we put that together, can you feel how that vibration is rising up, following this pathway of the vagus nerve? So when we close our class with this, directly stimulating this ventral vagal, this socially engaged, relaxed, present, at ease and flow part of us. Group closings in a yoga class, however you close, if you bring the hands together, bow to your students, if you share Om Shanti, may you go in peace, however you close your class, again, this feeling of being part of a group, being part of a community is more co-regulation. Also space for chatting and socializing. Now, I often didn't used to do this. So back before I was teaching, so back like 12, 13 years ago, I used to love going into a class that was completely silent. I'd like the teachers to be holding that silent space, to be able to go and sit on my mat, silently connect to my breath, and then begin the class. I loved the purity of that. But ever since I've been teaching, I've noticed there's so much hubbub before my classes. There's so much chitter chatter. Often I have to ting my little tingsha bells to bring the class to quiet. But now I understand why that sense of community is important. That in a safe space where you introduce your students to one another, where they do yoga together, over time, there is a bond that's being made. And by allowing this time for socializing and working with co-regulation, so sometimes if I've got a shyer class and they're not chatting, you've got that kind of 5-10 minutes when people are early, asking questions in your group, such as, so what's the most interesting and unusual thing that's happened to any of you this week? That's a question that developed from trying to get my husband to speak more, rather than, hey, honey, how's your day? Fine. But it works really well. What was the most interesting and unusual thing that happened in your week today? Or your week or today, and asking that of the class if you've got this time to fill. Or you're saying, what did you feel from last week's yoga? Like, get people to chat or leave space for that at the end. Said that wasn't something I used to do in yoga. It kind of happened, but now through Polyvagal Theory, I understand the importance of that. So I'm going to stop that screen share now. And I am going to nip back into the Facebook group. Okay. To hope we're still live. Yeah. So back in the group, I can see your comments and see your chat. Then let me know, is this resonating with you today? How are you feeling about consciously engaging with co-regulation in your yoga class? This is all stuff you'll do naturally. It kind of explains why is it that the community part is so important in yoga. I also promised that I would give you the explanation of resting bitchy face. So this is kind of the middle pillar of polyvagal theory we didn't talk about, which is neuroception. So neuroception is about how below the level of conscious awareness, our nervous systems are always looking for information of foe or friend, let's put that right way around, safety or danger. And a lot of that we look into faces. So our faces look into faces, and our nervous system is making a response to that. So when your nervous system sees a face with a friendly eye contact, with a friendly smile, your nervous system is able to go, yes, friend, safe, ventral vagal, all is fine. When you see a face that is angry or grumpy, maybe the eyes are bulging and dilated, maybe there's a grumpy facial expression, maybe they just clearly look angry. Your face is reading that, it's going, oh, angry person, sympathetic nervous system response, I'm not safe right now, what is going on? But actually, when there is a neutral facial expression, so no facial expression, our nervous system reads that the same as a grumpy, angry face, because it's like not enough information, neutral. There is not enough information for me to work out friend or foe, safety or danger. So I'm just going to decide that one's danger to keep myself safe. So we interpret neutral as grumpy, angry, pissed off, annoyed with us. And that is your nervous system just going, not enough information, I'm going to play it safe and presume they're grumpy. But why would people be wearing a neutral facial expression in yoga? Because it's an inner journey. Even as we do as a community, we ask our students to go inside, to connect with their body, connect with their breath, to be present with just them, to not look around, to be on their mat. So they are wiping off, like washing, all of the social engagement stuff, the masks they have to wear through their day. And the face just comes back to neutral. And we see neutral, don't know, not enough information, grumpy, angry. It's just neutral. So next time you feel that in a class, oh, look at that face again. Is it just neutral? Is it that they're inward? They're concentrating, they're calm, they've turned off the social facial signals that you're used to. And then actually go, great, great. I wanted them to be inward, to be focused, to be connected to their own journey. No more resting bitchy face. Let's get rid of that. It's just neutral face, enjoying and doing their yoga. Great. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed this. I hope you get to go and put it into your class. So I have just recently taught a whole day on polyvagal theory in person. I will find a way of doing that online. Won't be a whole day because it's too long online. It will be broken up a little bit, so keep an eye out for that. And if you haven't already, I would love you to sign up for our free 5-day business and marketing course for yoga teachers. It starts on the 1st of September. It is 30 minutes a day for 5 days. And of course, there's replays, always replays. It will be on Zoom, but it will also be in this group because you know I'm first and foremost here for you. But you do need to sign up because otherwise you won't get the Zoom link, the PowerPoint, or the workbooks. So please do that. I'd love to have you there. And I will see you next Friday. Thank you for joining me, my loves.